Good morning, everyone. Welcome into the Power of Co-Creation webinar. I'm your co-host, Darby Rollins, joined today with Shelly Berman-Rubera. And on today's call, we will be sharing the power of co-creation, how you can use co-creation in your own business, and experiences from ourselves over the years and real world brands collaborating to demonstrate how and what co-creation is. And as a special bonus for those of you joining us here live today, we're also gifting you all a custom buyer's blueprint for showing up, being live, and a part of this webinar. You will have a link that we will share inside of this call. This blueprint is valued at $199 for it to be done for you. It is what we teach and build upon inside of GenAI University, and it is a demonstration in action of how myself and other members of our community have co-created over the course of the last few years what ultimately has developed into the market sauce method, which at the end of the day is methodology for helping us research, collaborate, and gain a competitive advantage in our markets. And so, Shelly, I'm super excited for today's call. We've got a lot that we're going to dig into, and I have a few slides that I'll walk people through, but we're going to give people a couple more minutes to join in. I don't want to lock anyone out just a few minutes, just if anyone's running a few minutes late, but we will dive in here in about 3 to 5 minutes from now. But Shelly, I'm excited for today's call. We've been prepping for this for a while. How are you feeling today?
I'm very excited. I'm happy to be working with you. I'm happy with the message that we've created. And I'm really excited because one of my greatest ambitions is to make a bigger impact. And you and I have created this arena where we can do that.
Absolutely. And I'd love to hear from everyone just joining us on the call live. And if you're watching this wherever it's playing on YouTube or anywhere else online, in the comments, let us know, what are you excited about right now in the world of creation in general, whether you're a business owner, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a consultant. We're constantly creating and innovating when it comes to AI. Show just with a quick comment, what is maybe an exciting project or an initiative that you're working on right now that you'd love to see how you could figure out a way to co-create to maybe add some value, bring something different to the partnerships or the collaborations that you are spearheading, because we're going to be covering a lot of that. There will be interaction during this call. We don't want it to just be us talking and hearing our own voices for a 90-minute period. We can do that any other time. But what we do want to do is share our experience and how we've leveraged this concept of co-creation in both of our own businesses, and how other businesses and brands are doing the same, and how you can take insights from today's call and apply them to your business to begin co-creating and collaborating to ultimately, we're all about this, to go and dominate our niche, to really stand out on our industry, and to make a greater impact, like you say, Shelly. So please, guys, just if you have a couple minutes, just a quick blurb about who you are, what you do, and something that you're looking forward to creating right now.
Go ahead and put that in the chat. That would be
And just
great.
drop that in the chat. And keep in mind that we will be sharing a link during the middle of this presentation for you guys to actually join in and submit as part of the blueprint process that we said you guys are going to get for joining us live. That is coming. We see David using partnerships for training a lot and using AI to find connections between the topics and partner topics. That's a great use case, David. It's great to see you here. Good to see you, Tara. So we got joining us today. You got Carrie, you got Bruce. Great to see you, Bruce. Great to see you, Jim, Damar, Asim, Kristen, Sergio, John, Cheryl, Gary. Full house today, guys. So good to see everybody here. And thank you all for showing up to be part of the collaborative nature of this event. Collaboration has been the name of our game at GenAI University since we started back in 2021. And just this year, the number of collaborations that we've had with businesses like Shelly and Small Business Results have just opened up new possibilities for what we can do and what we create together. Good to see you all joining in. Let me see, Christian. Good to see you, Christian. Live in Germany. Your project is a company network to improve their digital presence and help in many ways to get more leads and profit. Awesome. Great to see you here, Christian. Something I want everyone to have in the back of their minds as we get started and going through today is what opportunities are maybe right in front of you in your backyard with existing clients and customers that may have products or service themselves that you could find a unique angle or unique way to co-create together. Also, obviously, there's ways that we're going to use AI to helping with it can help with finding potential partners and things of that nature. But I would just encourage everyone to think, what do I have in my as a resource right now and that I can literally tap into right away and be thinking of ways that you could add some value and co-create with an existing resource and existing asset that might just be collecting digital dust. In a lot of cases, someone might have a course, someone might have a program that could be brought to a different market, and a lot of ways that we can create a lot of leverage with existing products and services.
And with that, I would love to be able to say, how did this even come about, you and I? For years, and we'll talk a little bit more about it later, I have had remarkable co-created relationships that have been so impactful and reached a lot of people and created something unique. So I don't know, 6 months ago, I have known that I had to integrate AI into my programs and into my company. So all of us, every new application every day, every new AI visionary, every day there's another possibility. But I've been following Darby. When were you at Jasper? How many years?
I was never technically an employee, but I was their very first customer.
What was that?
That was very beginning of 2021.
2021. So I have been following Darby for 3 years. And as I started to think about how am I going to do this, I just had a kind of personal, emotional connection to the way Darby articulated things, the way he presented himself, the way he conducted the webinars. So I reached out to him. And that started conversations about who are you? How could we work together? What are the synergies? And so over the past, I don't even know, 5 or 6 months, we just made a decision to work together and understand how we could integrate AI and Market Sauce, his product, into my offerings. And the only thing I can tell you is that it's powerful to be able to collaborate, bring two brands together. Darby has his thing, I have my thing, but where do they come together? What is the intersection? And how can I support him? How can he support me? And how do we best support all of you? And so we're hoping today to share with you the criteria for finding a partner, how you could integrate AI into your business, as well as some of the strategies I'm using to make a bigger reach and a bigger impact.
It's great, Shelly. Yeah. And it's great to, as if anyone that's followed my journey over the past few years since Jasper started, just the opportunities within our community that have become available, not just for myself, but also seeing other members of the community throughout the years, connecting on each other, understanding each other's strengths, and seeing where you could both provide value in your own respect. And again, understanding your own strength, I think, is a huge aspect of knowing what you can bring to other partners, as well as seeing like, where do I need the most help and where do I need the most leverage that can work. And when Shelly approached me, we're looking for ways to help people implement the market sauce system and take these often overwhelming buyer brief reports and helping people take bite-sized action steps towards getting a result and putting the ideas that we're creating and producing into action and using that action to create a greater impact. So through that, Shelly is a fantastic teacher and trainer that I've come to learn and see more and more, just with how her clients respect her, how she works with her clients, how she understands the high level concepts and the marketing strategy from doing this professionally for years and being able to communicate that in a way that just an average, not average, but a business owner that maybe not a marketer by trade can take these marketing insights from AI and use those to get ahead in business. Because you've probably heard the saying, everyone here, if you're not using AI, someone that is using AI is going to take your job. It's not going to take your job. Someone that's using AI is going to take your job. And while you could weigh the truths to that and say maybe it's not true in every case, I think, and more often than not, if you are looking to work with someone or hire somebody or bring someone on in your business that understands how to leverage tools, that is maybe more AI native than someone that is not even willing to consider working with AI, me, at the very least, I'm going with the person that's willing to learn to use these tools, to adapt with the tools, and to use them inside of the innovation process, because that one person with the right AI tools and with the right mindset at the end of the day is going to be able to 10x what they're capable of, because there's so much leverage in this technology. On the flip side, if you're scared of AI coming for your position or your role or your company, and you're not willing to adjust your mindset and adapt how you are creating and using AI inside of your workflow, then someone else that is your competition is doing that. And by bringing AI into the mix, when we're talking about co-creation, you've got you plus another person, another human, plus this brainstorming machine that can just bring so many possibilities into the equation. It's truly powerful. And I really believe it's a skill that you need to immerse yourself in, that you need to develop and build upon over time. And what better time than now, if you haven't committed to going all in with AI, but also consider that while we're talking about co-creation and who are the real human connections that you want to be building relationships with, that once you see the opportunity and you see the outcome that you're going for, then where do AI can apply to help you with getting that result that much faster. And with that said, I'm going to walk through a few slides of what we're going to cover on this webinar today, and then we're going to dive into some conversation and some back and forth with Shelly and I, and sharing and looking for insights from you all joining us here live as well. For engagement, we'll be asking questions. We're looking for some folks may come on and share some of their experience, some questions, some ideas. But all in all, we're talking about the power of co-creation. And through today's call, we're going to be exploring the collaborative value creation by brands, customers, and community. And of course, I am Darby Rollins, and joined today with Shelly Berman-Rubera. Now, the question that we're going to be covering and the topic that we're going to be covering on of what is co-creation, well, really what it boils down to is the collaborative value creation by different brands and stakeholders working together to create value. And its growing importance, and how in today's interconnected business world, how important it is to have these types of relationships where you can co-create together. And so we'll be discussing things like the evolution of co-creation over the years, at least in our businesses and what we've seen, a few different types, the benefits, some case studies, and some strategies that you can use to implement, to find partners and otherwise. But there's a few types of co-creation that I see most immediately. One being a brand-to-brand collaboration between companies. We'll have an example here in just a slide or two for you. Another is a brand-to-customer co-creation. So partnering with your customers, especially if you're an early stage startup and you're getting building, you're co-creating your product with your customers and early adopters. And then there's the open innovation, community-driven collaboration that can take a number of different forms with larger groups of people. There's a lot of benefits to be had with this approach, even with AI completely out of the equation. Co-creating with other humans can bring enhanced innovation. It can improve product development by bringing in different, diverse perspectives. It can increase engagement, which would lead to stronger customer loyalty and brand connection, because you're engaging with your customers through these co-creation efforts. You can open yourself up to new markets, accessing an expanded audience and new opportunities, because you're co-creating with another brand that has maybe different reach, different audiences, or intersecting audiences, and then sharing resources. And so there's a level to risk mitigation here through collaborative efforts, leveraging resources that one company or brand has and another is bringing to the table. And it helps with overall reducing risk of creating an entirely new venture when you could co-create. One example that Shelly shared in her research leading up to today's webinar was a case study between Adidas and Lego. In short, and we can go into some of these case studies in more detail. I know Shelly has a few that she researched that we can share as more examples, but it was a partnership between innovative product design collaboration. So you got Adidas, the shoe, and then Lego, obviously the toy company. You created unique sneakers that incorporated Lego's iconic bricks in it. So what the target for this was nostalgic millennials and sneaker enthusiasts, and the result was quick sellouts and significant media attention. Just one example of two brands coming together to co-create and make something new, unique, and valuable. Another case study example is that between Spotify and Starbucks. So the goal of this co-creation venture enhanced the customer experience through music. When they implemented it, shot Spotify's curated playlist for Starbucks stores, and then a seamless blend of music and coffee in culture. And so there's a number of ways to approach co-creating, whether you're a solopreneur, whether you're running a large agency or brand. It comes down to being effective with how you're approaching this process. And there's a few ways that you can begin to approach this that we use in some way, shape, or form. Is one, how you identify partners and assessing that a brand is compatible and that there's actual mutual benefits to your co-creation. Another is setting clear goals. So what is defining success actually look like? Are there metrics? Are there timelines? Do you want to sell X amount of units? Do you want to enroll Y amount of people into a program? And developing a framework. So creating a shared vision and establish roles. And through creating this framework, you're creating something that by itself is a valuable asset that you can, if desired, to use and repeat and continue to leverage that framework. And through leveraging technology, using digital platforms and collaboration and distribution. This way you're getting in front of more audiences and expanding your reach and awareness. Now, with any opportunity, there's going to be challenges and there's going to be solutions to those challenges. So some brands that we've noted, and in general, there may be challenges of cultural differences between the brands that are maybe coming in, and people that are a part of a brand's ecosystem may not be as aware of a certain brand. And so providing clear communication channels between that might be a good solution for ensuring that you're attacking those potential challenges head on, making sure that you're balancing a brand identity. So depending on the nature and the extent of the co-creation, I think there's a lot of solutions that can define themselves simply by being flexible and being adaptive to your approach. There's not really a one size fits all here, but being able to be flexible and willing to adapt is crucial in any instance here. And then managing expectations, right? As you would manage a client, as you would manage a large scale campaign, you want to make sure that you're reviewing, providing feedback, and setting the right level of expectations so that you are, everyone's on the same page and everyone's understood of what the expectations are. And so when you look at the future of co-creation, we're going to be talking about AI more specifically when we're talking about it in here, but just looking at the way that the machine learning and AI technologies are developing and advancing, that's all going to just enable new opportunities to co-create. And then you look at VR and AR for augmented reality, virtual reality, immersive platforms that brands are going to be co-creating in virtual worlds. And then in blockchain for securing partnerships and things that the blockchain technology will allow to do for a number of different initiatives. We had done an NFT project about 2 years ago now here at AI University for our AI author library cards that was a collaboration with a platform where we created an NFT project that unlocked AI prompts and workflows for members of our community and those that purchased that product. And it secured their access through the blockchain technology that we were using. And so these are all things that are happening right now. And in some instances, you might have seen some VR, you may have seen some blockchain co-creation and some AI co-creation. But I think as this becomes more popular amongst brands, amongst companies, and amongst communities, we're going to see more and more unique and creative ways for people to stand out and apart in a noisy market. So ways to get involved, of course, exploring opportunities. And one is identifying potential, like we were talking about earlier, inside of your organization with your existing clients. We're going to be posting more on this topic on our YouTube channel, which is where our video podcasting platform lives. So make sure that you're following Gen AI University on YouTube so that you get more video updates and notifications as we produce more content around this topic. And then, of course, you're going to be invited to join the conversation on co-creation. We have information on our website at genaiuniversity.com for ways that you can join our mastermind program and being a part of our community at large. And we'll have more details for you at the end of this webinar after questions and such. But as we start to dig in today, right now, Shelly, we're talking co-creation, and there's a lot of opportunity to co-create. But I think a lot of people that in just speaking with folks that are getting involved with this already know that they have the opportunity there. And it's a matter of just approaching and identifying the right opportunities to even begin the conversation with. I'd love to hear from your experience, and you have a number of companies that you've worked with in this regard. If you share a bit more of your background and how you have leveraged this over the years to see success as a business consultant.
Absolutely. I guess, well, I am a business development and communication strategist. Worked really hard to come up with that title because while I coach and consult, I really didn't want to be called a coach. And that was one of my ways to differentiate myself. A number of my clients have say, yeah, that's what I am, a strategist. So you'll see a lot of my cohorts are now calling themselves strategists. But I would say to you, in the world of my business development, the greatest co-creation I had was with Constant Contact. And that was really a good 15 or so years. And they were doing event marketing. And I'm in Newton, Massachusetts, and they're in Waltham, 15 minutes from me, corporate. And I worked with the directors of the event planning to bring my talk and my presentation to their audience. Co-creation. They had 850,000 subscribers, all small business owners and nonprofit. But I was like a perfect match to be able to provide Constant Contact users on how to integrate business development to email marketing survey. And so we did, oh my goodness, at least 3 live events every year. They were amazing. And through that, I was actually able to deliver webinars to their partner program. I was able to work with the head of the partner program because people didn't necessarily want to be identified as a Constant Contact provider. So how did they integrate that? That was probably, I can't begin to tell you, exhilarating, exciting. And those were non-paid speaking gigs, but because of my brand and Constant Contact's brand, I was able to get $1,500, $2,000 sponsors from outside people to support the collaboration, to support that relationship. The only thing that changed is that Constant Contact got acquired and they stopped doing event marketing. But that is a real powerful collaboration. There's many others. And like I said, in order to reach out to someone and say, hey, Darby, hey, Constant Contact, can we figure out a way to work together? What's most important is our own branding, our own messaging, and our own positioning, which is reflected in your LinkedIn, your website, in your marketing collateral. And so in order for Darby or anybody to look at me, I have to have my house in order. Then I think that's a really good segue to be able to take back to you, Darby. One of the things we do want to hit on, what are the criteria, but also you can talk a little bit more about how we were able to be a match for each other. How did I position it? How did you receive it? Right?
Yeah, just speaking to how we initially started our conversation was we had sent an email out about one of our blueprints or briefs that we were letting people know that, hey, this is available. And I think you responded back and said, hey, this looks amazing. Can we hop on a call? And I'm incredibly busy, like all of us are. And there's no way I could take all the calls that people ask if I can hop on. And so I told you that, I think, pretty straight up. I said, I'm super busy. Can you share more about what you have in mind for this? And because I didn't know who you were. It's just, hey, can you tell me a little bit more about what you have in mind here? And I like to start the initial conversation off over email. It's easier to see where people are at and get your thoughts in order with, like, where's the outcome here that you're looking for? And you're like, oh, I'm a consultant. I want to offer this to my clients. And to me, that's sweet songs being sung over the meadow, because I would love this to be sold to more and more of the consultants that are buying it from us, to implementing it with their clients. And that's what we're working on right now with our reseller program, is integrating with more agencies, because you are one of my ideal target partners, because you have a consulting business, you have clients that need this, but it's much faster for me to reach those clients by making a partnership with you, and then you bringing through that partnership this product and service directly to your clients. And so I can focus on relationships with people I know already have my audience that's existing. So for criteria for me, your audience, your clientele are my clients. And so it would make sense to me to want to build a relationship with you. And I had already thought through what some of my criteria was. So as soon as you said that, you'd bought a brief from me, and then we hopped on a call to discuss, like, okay, let's like talk about what are some ways that we can continue to build on this. And that's as much as it was just saying, hey, I think there might be something here. I see some value in this for my audience. and what can we do to put our heads together. And so I've always been open to those types of collaborations, but without you taking initiative to reach out, then we would not be talking here on this webinar. And so it's a two-way street, so to speak, where it's coming out from both of our ends, and we're both communicating and collaborating through any of the ventures that we're doing. And it's going well. In terms of measuring success for me, we've sold a number of blueprints and full-blown briefs to your clients. Your clients have reported back great results from it. And it gave me a lot of insight as to ways that we can continue to enhance the product and service. A few of them being, hey, could we just add page numbers and a table of contents to this thing? Like, yeah, of course we could have, but it's the more reps you get with any sort of product or otherwise, especially with how we approach Market Sauce, that kind of feedback is invaluable, because as you're creating and delivering that result, now all of a sudden our product is becoming more valuable, and we're understanding more ways that we can apply it directly, especially from the lens of implementation support beyond what I'm capable of doing at a one-on-one level, which is what you excel at, Shelly. And so I think from a criteria standpoint, does the partners that you're working with, do they have an audience that would benefit from getting to know you more? And if so, then that's number one for me. But also, are they like credible? And do they have like good reviews? Is the product legit? Or is this just some brand new, hasn't been proven out, doesn't have very many reviews? It's going to be a little bit harder for me to bite on going much deeper in terms of a co-creation with something that hasn't been proven out on the other front, because I'm not looking to create something brand new from scratch, but take something that is already existing and then add value with what I know that I can bring to the table. And that's just my experience with it. But I'm curious, any more criteria on your end that you keep in mind from your experience, Shelly?
In order to give you some tactical things, one is to let's pretend it's a circle. And in that circle are all of the things that I offer. What do I want to do? Who do I want to work with? What outcome do I want to receive? So say there's me, and then there's, for me, my relationship with Darby, the technology aspect. When you put them together, you have to look for that hole. See, there's a little hole that didn't complete in my circle. There's a hole in my business. It happens to be right now that it's AI. Another hole that I have is I don't create websites, but I do project management, and I write the content and the strategy. And so I've just created a new power of co-creation with Tara, who's on the call today. And that goal is that I need someone that's going to fill that hole. Who's going to do the websites? Who's going to help me promote my speakers? So if you collaborate, it's different than a referral partner. That's a very important message I want to give you. A referral partner is, I'm going to send you business, you're going to send me business. But really, what's most important is, what's the hole in my company that I need to fill, and who's the right person to fill the hole? Criteria. I am a perfectionist. I abhor mediocrity. I need to know that when I put myself out in the world, that the person on the other end of the mic, I don't have to worry about what's coming out of their mouth. I don't have to worry about what they're going to say or do or how they're going to treat my clients. I am known. People have hired me, including Bonnie, because of my resources. The world is full of a lack of integrity. We don't know what we're getting. We just don't know. Website designers disappointing us, SEO disappointing us, graphic artists. We cannot afford to make the wrong relationships. So when you invest, when you fill the hole, what's the hole in my company? Who do I want to fill it? You have the criteria for starting a relationship. Would you also let me share my screen? In looking at the whole, I absolutely couldn't spend another minute searching at all the apps. I had a notebook full of, well, you could do this, you can use this, I had to stop. In order to make this work for myself, whoops, let me get a different browser, bear with me. I took one of my programs, which is called Concept to Customer, And this is where people understand they have to create their concept. What better way, once I work with them, but to integrate this business development brief right into my program? This is a huge, and also I just want to explain to all of you, what Darby's doing is tangible. Business coaching, strategy, a lot of what we do is not tangible. So clients love, it's an easy sell. I can give you something tangible to help you grow your business and to identify your concept. So you can just see, depending on what your offers are, I'm just promoting it within my own program. So this remains mine and Darby's remains his. So looking for the whole, looking for high quality people that you trust and that you can build something, which is another piece. Darby and I have made a commitment, no different than I had with Constant Contact. They had the list. I had the contact, the content. So it's just finding people that can support each other in a high integrity, trusted relationship.
I think like a lot of that to build on top of it is being able to show the value that you create up front and transparently when we started the whole market sauce development at the initial starting of things, it was all about creating really like the most kick-ass lead magnet that I could create, which is like how can we just blow people's minds with value with this thing that I know is fundamentally you can't really create great content with AI without having a locked in content brief. But the problem pretty much everyone will run into, even from the early days of Jasper, was like, okay, like who is my avatar? What is my niche? You can't answer those two questions. The rest of AI is not going to do the work that it needs to for you. So what I shared in the link right now in the chat with everybody here joining us live, the free blueprint is a direct link to a form. Should take more than 2 minutes to fill out with just a bit of information about your product or service, who you serve, and any context about what makes you unique and different. This could be your very own product. This could be a product that you have an idea for a client that you might want to research some more about who that target audience is. But the reason we start with this blueprint, the reason that's how we got introduced, Shelly, is because after going through so much training with people like John Benson and developing some of the initial blueprint with him and Copy Pro when using Jasper, to working with marketers like Ron Lynch, who has a marketing mercenary program that has a lot of influence in the strategic creative brief that we have our entire buyer's brief built on. These are tried and true frameworks that if you don't understand how to talk to who you're serving in any sort of campaign, and then understand there's multiple segments inside of that campaign that you could create the exact same offer, but to 5 different market segments, it opens up so many doors and so much opportunity. And the problem that I kept seeing was as business owners and entrepreneurs, we would have this product market scotoma where we'd be so close to the thing that we're working on. We have the ideas, or we're just like too close to the forest. You can't see the forest through the trees, as they say. That might be nice to just get a step back and a refreshed look at who is my market, what's going inside their head, and how do I speak directly to my ideal target audience in a clear and effective way. If you could do that, you're going to see improved results in the form of your engagement and the response. And if you don't, then you need to work on your messaging more and more. And so we've been testing and delivering these blueprints for quite some time now. And everyone on this call can take that and submit that link, and you should get a report emailed to you in just a number of minutes after the fact. I'm sharing this, and I wanted to include this. We didn't even start the idea of this webinar with giving that as a bonus. And I thought that would be a really good way to show everyone here that has clients, that has an audience, that has customers or people they've worked with that maybe they're struggling with something the same. Maybe they don't know exactly who their crystal clear target audience is, or maybe you would benefit from a different perspective or a different look at that. Going through this process, you can now see how this can not only impact you directly, but maybe even a way that you could integrate this into your own programs, where then by nature of me adding value to you in advance with a free report that we've charged $100 to $200 for, to say, oh, wow, I can use this to help me with adding value on the front end or adding value as people are onboarding to my programs because they struggle with this and I know they do, then that's gonna by nature like open you up to wanting to work with me more and see how we can work and collaborate to develop and refine and maybe even build on top of this blueprint for something that is more unique and customized to your own business with your own frameworks, and then leveraging our skill set at Gen AI University and understanding workflows, frameworks, and prompting and automation to then going, back into the world of winning over clients, retaining more clients. And how does market sauce actually fit in to work as your secret weapon, so to speak, but really a way that you know how to plug it in inside of your own market research and competitor intelligence to make better decisions, faster decisions. And again, when I'm talking to you, Shelly, I'm talking to not just you, but you see all the clients that you're working with, that if they have this problem and then you know that I can solve this problem, then we can work together and help effectively deliver value with the clients that you're working with. And I know that this is the case for a lot of other coaches and consultants, and wanted to share that with you guys here on this call live. I said that we were going to be doing that, but also just to give a little more background as like why we created this system as the first place, and within members of our community who we did co-create this methodology with.
So I want to try to let people take some notes, but they'll have the recording. So number one, going back to my circle, you have to identify your potential partners. I don't like the word partner. Partnerships rarely work. I like collaborators. I like co-creation. So you have to look at the whole in your business. Identify, this would be your homework. Take a piece of paper. Identify your potential partners. Find the whole and identify who might fill into that. Okay. Then once you talk to them, you're going to evaluate what are the mutual benefits. It's all about reciprocity. In my relationship with Darby, one of the things I address all the time is how isolated we all are as business owners. We're in our own silos. We don't have the money, the time, the resources to hire the right people. So really assessing who you are and who would help you and evaluating mutual benefits. The second piece is once you have the relationship, Darby and I have made a commitment. We meet about once a week, at least for a half an hour or an hour to discuss our next steps, evaluate what we've just done, what's left to do, and then we divide and conquer. Darby's going to do ABC. I'm going to do what comes next, DEF, and we're going to smart today. And so we're going to divide and conquer, define your success metrics, and set timelines and milestones, which is no different than we have to do for every one of our clients. What do we want to achieve by when? What are the benchmarks? The third is to create a collaborative framework and create that shared vision and that shared value. And then a little redundant, but it is establishing roles and responsibilities and then dividing and conquer. The first thing I did was went into my preferred client list and I invited 10 people to take the brief at a lower price and then come back and do a debrief where they could learn more from Darby and myself how to implement it. Shared vision, establish roles and responsibilities, and absolutely, if you haven't integrated technology into your company, we have to, or we will get left in the dark. One of my differentiators now is that I can provide this brief. Absolutely. And for me, it's such a gift because running these webinars, I can share with you my weaknesses. I don't like all the technology part. Having Darby be able to set this up, set up the registration, manage and run this, that's a gift to me. It still allows me to speak, but I love it when someone else does that. And then we also have to be able to protect each of our intellectual property. We did sign non-disclosures. It happens to be that I would never do anything to hurt anybody, and I don't think Darby would either. But those relationships, you have to. You have non-competes, you have non-disclosures. You have to be a professional and protect yourself. And creating the mutual relationship. We want to help people, and we both also want to get paid. We all do. That's the difference between having a hobby and running a business. It's a hobby if you're not making money, and it's a business if you are co-creating and thinking about how to bring in revenue and reach more people. So things I would just say before I want to turn it back to Darby is like, what strategies can you adapt? Who are those partners? What brands would really help you meet your goals? I would love to meet someone at Vistaprint, which is also here. I would love to be able to teach all their business owners how to grow their business before they start. And I have people, should I buy pens? Should I buy notebooks? No spending on pens and notebooks before we get your positioning and marketing straight. What tools do you need? What technology would help you? How can you share that technology? And really, what could you do? Like I am still with Constant Contact. They just don't do it in the same way, but I've delivered webinars to them where we had 468 people on the call. So think about who can help you. What is your message? Who can you integrate? And that's the other beauty of a co-creation. I have to tell you all, it doubles your marketing effort. I have Darby's reach. I have my reach. We both have all the people around us that want to support us. And I guess the last thing I'll say about this is that I believe with all your LinkedIn, all your social outreach, everything, that relationships are your number one marketing strategy for the present and the future. The present and the future, it's the relationships you build and the people that you can co-create. That will give you a differentiator in the market world. Where do you want to go with this now, Darby?
I would love to hear from those that are here with us live. If anyone has questions that they have about this process, about anything we've talked about, please share that you have a question in the chat. And if you're open to coming on and sharing your question live on Zoom, then it will be recorded. Just keep that in mind. Or if anyone has an experience that they have gone through and successfully co-created and has some insights that they think would be useful for other people to get an idea of from your experience, I'm open to that as well. But I think you nailed it, Shelly, with the relationship aspect and how in a world where everything is getting to be AI and automated is how can we really do the things that aren't scalable and go the extra mile in that sense to having the one-on-one communication, to making yourself more available and to putting the time in to not automate yourself out of trying to create those relationships, because I think that there's going to be a lot of missed potential opportunity there if you try to completely remove yourself from the human aspect of this, which, and who knows how fast it's going to happen. AI moves at breakneck speed, but once everyone has their own AI agents and that's just the norm and everything that you don't want to do is automated, like who are the people that you want to work with? What are the things you actually want to be doing in your business? And then for everything that you don't want to do or that you don't want to build yourself, thinking about who are the people that I want to be building with. And if you can find those people now and build those relationships and grow those relationships and nurture those relationships, then again, it's a matter of time and your exposure in the market to building these relationships and creating these collaborative type of ventures where maybe the first one flops, maybe the second or third one flop. But if you continue to learn from your experience and test and refine what you're doing and how you're approaching this, making sure that you're protected as well. Like you said, that's an important thing, making sure you have the right agreements in place with people that you are working with, because while everybody in the world is going to lead with their best intentions or say they are anyways, you just, any lawyer is going to tell you, I'm not a lawyer, but you do what you need to do to make sure that you're protecting yourself in anything, whether it's an NDA or whether you have a proprietary piece of IP that you want to make sure you're protecting. But it's not, it's going to be more and more normal, I think, especially as like data and IP is really the currency that is where all the value is held, to making sure that you're protected. And if partners are not okay with signing agreements and making sure that everybody's on the same page, then maybe that's not a good partnership to begin with, or maybe there are just ways that you need to communicate more specifically what you're looking to accomplish here. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not trying to give legal advice. I'm just saying from experience, making sure that you do have those things addressed before investing a significant amount of time and money and resources into anything. Just make sure you're protected up front so that if stuff does go south, then it's all on paper, it's all agreed upon. Again, just
Just being strategic and
Mhm.
smart, not just doing it because it feels right. A couple of things I wanted to say. One is there are some people on the call that have actually paid and done the brief.
Mhm.
So with the offer that Darby has today, I encourage you to think about, do you have a narrow deep? Do you have an offer that you'd like to go narrow or deeper? Use this offer today to think about what more did you want to learn about something, right? And you put those in as your prompts. I think we're going to move into helping you understand a little bit more about the brief so that you can understand more about whether this is something you'd like to integrate into your business. You can also think about whether I am collaborating with Darby. I am going to be doing strategic development, helping people do the prompts, fill out the initial brief, and also unpacking it, because what you get is, I guess in the words of my client Rebecca, she said it's the holy grail of marketing. I wish I had this before I wrote my book. I wish I had this before I did my website. We've done a good job with her anyway, but can we just have a thumbs up or a high that you do want to you want to hear about Darby, the AI, and think about how this could fit into your business? Yeah, we together? How to make a thumbs up, high five?
Yeah, we see a few out there.
Yay, thank you.
And I know a lot of people that have come to this call, like you may or may not have been exposed to what we're doing and at Gen AI University, but when it comes to the blueprint that everyone had gone through here and those watching the replay, what the blueprint ultimately is doing is helping get clarity on who your target market is and understand the messaging and the language to speak what's going on, like the language that's already going on in their mind. Where this is important, I think, at regardless of whether you're not you're a paid member of our community or you're part of our newsletter or for free, or this is the first time you've ever even seen me and don't know anything about what we're doing. If you know somebody that you're doing business with or that you could potentially be doing business with that is running a business themselves, and if they have a problem in understanding their ideal target audience, like, do you know somebody like that right now? Raise your hand virtually or for real. Like, can you think of somebody that's a client of yours that might be struggling with understanding who their target audience is?
Yes.
I'm in Darby.
Who is that?
Susie,
Hey, Susie. Yeah, sure.
long time no see. How are you?
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that your buyer's brief that I bought was like last year. It was before it was in the beginning, really. I
Mhm.
know it's changed a lot since then and grown. Was super helpful for me and in my business because at that time I was like trying to figure out moving forward what was my brand voice and my website and all of that. But as an agency, I've just taken on a CMO role, which is what brought me back to today because I have a client now that's a real estate agent and it's a large team and they don't know who they're, how there's no marketing that's ever been at this company. So everything's just been like, they're just throwing stuff at a wall to see what sticks. So immediately I was like, I need a buyer's brief. I need the market doc for this because this is going to help basically be the foundation for everything that I build in this company moving forward so that everything's one cohesive brand and voice and vision and mission in terms of what we're doing with all of our marketing. So yeah, that I'm excited to be here. I just wanted to share that. I don't know if that's helpful. I unfortunately was late to the call, so I wasn't able to get through the first half of it, but I'm excited to apply this to this new client and hopefully more clients as I move forward in my business.
That's great, Susie.
Before,
Now, great to
thank you
see
so
you
much.
and thank you for sharing. That
Bef-
like it's yeah, go ahead, Shelly.
I was going to say, I run into this in
Mhm.
20 years I'm doing this. So I have videographers that call me and say they've paid me, they want to do a video. They can't articulate their brand and their offer. We talk about this all the time, the cart before the horse. Your positioning, your messaging. Who is your client? What do they want? And what outcome can you deliver? This is what has to happen first. It's what the brief will provide you. And with that, I think, Darby, just go ahead and let's talk about what it is and what they get.
Yeah, so the blueprint that we shared today is really the introduction into what a full buyer's brief is. What we've created and been building for the past 12 months, let's just say, has been our Market Sauce 9000 system that works in tandem with the inputs that you're bringing to the table from yourself, from your clients, information about your business, your goals, your campaign, who their ideal target audience is, and anything that makes you unique, different, and that stand out on a market. What happens after you submit your information is a whole lot of AI and automations going on in the background, as well as in cases with the full buyer's brief that is part of our done for you service is checked through by our team, by our humans, making sure that it's on point before it gets delivered. And so what we've created is this hybrid approach to, yes, you can use AI to do this and go straight to ChatGPT right now with no prompting and ask it some questions and get some results back, depending on your level of prompting and understanding of how to best utilize ChatGPT. What we've developed and what we are building at Gen AI University is really an engine to help you as the person working with these clients, and even you just as a business owner yourself, to implement these resources that much faster. Some people love working in ChatGPT all day. Some people are very good at running ChatGPT. Some people, including Bruce and many of the people on this call, know this book almost inside and out because you've gone through, you've seen us demonstrate the book dozens or hundreds of times at this point. And there's a method and an approach to creating these briefs and these blueprints that are ultimately a resource that you are enabled to put into action with your clients. But the problem that, as great as these resources are, is in a lot of cases, if someone is not, how do I say this? I'm not like, they don't identify as like a marketer and somebody that's doing this stuff all the place. They don't come to the table with this type of information anyways. And traditionally, creating a full creative brief just by itself could take days, if not weeks or months, to put together, to compile the resource, to do the stuff that we create via AI and automation now. And what it's doing is twofold. One is it's giving the solopreneur type person who has an idea, who has a product, and they want to take their idea to market faster, a way to compress that time from days or weeks to a matter of hours. On the flip side, this is also an incredibly powerful resource for someone that's already running an agency that already has clients that struggle with this problem, but maybe you don't want to fill your bandwidth and you don't have the bandwidth to be able to dedicate 5 hours of research to every single client just to get down to, okay, who are these people actually talking to in the first place? What if you could do that in just a matter of 15 minutes? So those types of use cases are where these buyers' briefs and these blueprints are incredibly effective. Where we want to go as we continue to build Gen AI University is creating that ecosystem that doesn't just deliver these as one-off reports, but gives you the resources and the ongoing support to get the product and service, the briefs that we're creating done for them, or you have the resources to just do them in a self-service fashion, which we're building inside of our platform right now, to then putting things into action and then having an ongoing support network where you could bring ideas back. You can have additional questions that you are running into, problems that you're looking to solve, but also looking for ways that you can continue to build your business with this market research system as a done for you deliverable that you don't have to build on your own. It would take, in most cases, a lot longer to teach how to just do this on a one-on-one basis than it would take to just snap your fingers and have it done for you. And so inside of our community right now, we have just this week opened up the doors to what is the Market Sauce AI Mastery Program. It is going to be the flagship program of Gen AI University. And what it is, a collection of everything that we have been doing and have been producing inside of our university to date. Some people on this call, like Bruce, for example, is part of this at the top tier, including the AI Profits Accelerators, our weekly mastermind, and additional access to monthly workshops and private events that are exclusive to members of our Creator Plus community. But I'm introducing this to you guys now because there's a lot of lack of action that happens from someone just taking a brief or going through a course and then what do I do next? okay, cool, I got the thing and now I'm stuck at the next step. And I don't want that for you. I want people that want to continually make progress. I want people that want to crush it in their market. I want to help people who have a competitive nature to them that want to be better their business as well as a person by upskilling themselves with AI and really taking an AI native approach to how you do anything in business. I want to work with coaches. I want to work with consultants. I want to work with entrepreneurs, and I want to work with leaders in businesses that see the potential in AI, but know that they are limited in terms of their own skill sets and their own resources as to how they can leverage AI. And they can see what we've built with not just myself and our market sauce system, but they see what the value in working with people like Kelly on a monthly basis in workshops, like Kelly Tenney, our director of wisdom, building out educational curriculum, learning from folks like Chris Lannon on make.com automations and what it means to become a chief AI officer. And as well, inside of our AI Profits Accelerator, Jordan Hall, who is a master at offers and positioning. And all of these containers to date have been as part of multiple different memberships that some people don't even know that we do some of these containers in these calls. And so we're consolidating them into the Market Sauce AI Mastery Program at what I believe is an incredibly reasonable and fair price at $2,000 a year. There is quarterly options available. We're not looking for people that are going to come test the waters and jip out on us after 1 month. To be frank with you, I don't think anyone that's actually serious about learning AI and integrating AI and immersing themselves is going to get any level of significant progress in just a 30-day period. And I'm looking for people that are going to come in all in, that are ready to commit and are willing to spend the time to work with us in onboarding to make sure that you're set up for success. And so for those that are already members of the university and are interested in what combining all of these memberships together looks like with your existing membership, just reach out to us at hey@genaiuniversity.com and we'll talk with you because everyone has some people have different levels of membership from the years past. But if this is your first time and you've been considering joining us right here, this is, at the end of the day, everything that we could possibly bring to you from a support network, but with an added value of the onboarding experience being something that you're not going to find anywhere else. I guarantee it, because we're working with Shelly Berman-Rubera from Small Business Results, who you've got to know today as well, to have an onboarding call and develop a custom integration roadmap with you with a fully built out comprehensive custom Market Sauce 9000 buyers brief and a fully dedicated hour with Shelly to helping you with implementing and refining that roadmap inside of your first 30 days. So you can really have a set plan for what are the next 90 days, what are the next 12 months going to look like, and what do I need to focus on right now to move the needle in my business, and how can we leverage this brief without the overwhelm and without having to do it all yourself. This is the fast track to getting started with the ongoing support in terms of our monthly workshops, our weekly masterminds, and our on-demand trainings that really, I believe, are going to give any serious coach, consultant, entrepreneur, or agency owner that direct line to myself and our team at Gen AI University to helping you with getting real business results. Shelly talked about introducing your one-on-one consulting just this week. And what does that mean for those that are joining? And this is a time-sensitive one-on-one because I know your time is like all of ours, is our most valuable resource and very limited. So we open this up for that one-on-one hour with you as part of anyone joining that wants it between now and October 1st, 2024. So we've got a few weeks of time. The university is going to be open outside of that. This isn't, we're not closing the doors on anything after the fact, but for those that want to get that accelerant booster on and work directly with Shelly, as well as getting one of these briefs done for you in the next few weeks, now leading into Q4 of 2024 is going to help you set the tone for what you're going to be building upon as we head into 2025. Shelly, anything on your end?
No, other than in exploring our relationship and how generative AI and Gen AI University could integrate into my offer. We've done a lot of unique things in terms of our outreach in LinkedIn or in terms of talking to my existing database. So if people do want to join us, I'm happy to share all the strategies that we've created and what's working. If you're, again, I think it really has to do with refining your own messaging, finding the hole, and then making sure the brief is so incredible, but you do need help unpacking it and making sure about how you're going to best utilize it.
Now, we see a few questions coming in as well.
Oh,
So we're
great.
trying to get that to folks as we have it. I see a
Great.
few hands raised, so we'll get there too. Assad about being more than applying the market sauce. A lot of it is going to revolve and integrate market sauce, and it's one by itself, but there's also a lot more to AI than only the market sauce system that we develop. And so it's about integrating these tools in a holistic manner that's going to work for you, and also knowing when it makes sense to just avoid the shiny objects and stick true to a path, which is really a lot of what the custom integration roadmap is about, and getting that direction through one of these briefs. And for those of you, for those here that are part of the Creator Plus and Cookbook Plus memberships, those spaces will still be updated with when we do have updated versions of the Buyer's Brief manuscript. You guys will get updates to those as well. So that'll be part of everyone's membership right now, just for those that are already a part of it.
Can I follow up on a question, Darby?
Yes, who is speaking right now?
Saad.
Saad, yeah.
Sorry. I had my camera on. Okay. Basically, you said this course is about putting together everything that you have done, in meaning like also the content creation and the book creation and all of these things that you did throughout the whole year, past year and a half or whatever.
Yes.
So it's not just the market source, it's taking that information and developing whatever.
Yeah.
Most-
So
most-
the market sauce would lead you into, okay, it's time to write a book. Okay, you have access to all the book writing systems for the micro courses or otherwise.
Yeah.
So it's going to include everything.
The micro, you will not be going through the micro courses. You'll just be going through the market source per se.
That will be one
In the
section
30
of it.
days.
Yeah.
In the 30 days.
So yeah, for the first 30 days, it'll be strictly on getting you set up with the custom brief and the integration plan for that brief and what you're going to execute on. It's not going to be a book challenge. It's not going to be a course challenge necessarily. It'll be outlining and preparing for the things that you're going to go and then implement and create. And not everyone's going to need a course, or not everyone's going to need a book.
And beyond that?
Yeah. And beyond that?
And beyond 30 days?
Yeah, ongoing support. So the first 30 days are getting you set up with that roadmap we're talking about here, that you could have a call with Shelly by next week, and we could have the brief to you in the next 2 weeks. It's more about the ongoing calls that we do have built in to our community, that you'll have access to those, and in terms of ongoing workshops and development and support. And I know not everyone can make all the live calls either. Much more of the ongoing support is beyond just the calls. It's having that direct access to myself and the coaches in our community over email, and keeping the communication going forward after that.
So is it any different from what we're getting as members of the community right now? As members of the university? No.
I believe, I'm speaking for your membership specifically, there are a few spaces like the AI Profits Accelerator that you don't have access to, that we meet weekly. And it's much more about the tactical, how are we making money with these types of tools? What are you guys seeing yourselves doing with it? And those are weekly cadence. Right now, the Creator Plus community, anyone with that membership does not. Folks like Bruce on this call, like I mentioned, he had opted in for our knowledge network last year, which is effectively the same level of access to what we're opening up here. And it's ongoing to all those different supports and resources. It's, again, like I said, we've had multiple of these containers set up over the past few years, and this is our kind of like wrangling everything together. This is everything that you get access to. And for those that have onboarded already as a Creator Plus member, you will all get a special deal. I guarantee a special deal compared to somebody that does not have that membership already, as a result of your existing membership. And that's something that we can have a direct conversation about, Assad, and anyone else that's interested in what that looks like for them specifically. Because again, we're going for the long game here.
And we're also and then also you have access to me. One of the things that we started to, when we were on, they said we're going to be able to talk to Shelly too. So that's part of the collaboration, is how can the community also have access to me via some webinars or workshops or the one-to-one. So
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
have one-to-one for sure with you for those that join before October 1st, but we will have monthly mastermind calls with Shelly as a highlight for those coming in that want to talk about this in the application to getting Shelly's feedback and insights and things of that nature. Damar, I see your hand raised. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Great presentation, Darby and Shelly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm a relatively new business strategist or coach, and what I'm looking for is a tool using AI that helps to get qualified appointments so that I can then talk about business coaching, which is what I do, and I work with small businesses. And so very much your message, Shelly, about collaboration I like to use the word teamwork is really the way I see it. And having that same know and trust that person is going to be able to deliver. So is there a way to have that type of deliverable created within this your market sauce program that I can then use for my business, but more importantly, bring to my clients, because that is probably the number one thing that most small businesses are struggling with, is getting qualified or new clients.
I'll answer this and with a little bit more background as to where I think immediately what market sauce would fit into, and then where there may be some other additional technical setup to getting the lead flow and the follow-up system. Out the gate, this would help with clarifying the message to the right target audience that person is looking to get more appointments with, the language to create content, and the social media plan and the content calendar, and the strategy for going and implementing to start booking those appointments. Where currently the system stops is in generating that content. And then the next step would be taking it and going and setting it up inside of a lot of our members are very proficient in a tool called Go High Level as their CRM. You may use it, you may use another CRM. That rather than trying to build our own version of one of these tools, with support for like, how would you take this and go and set up a quick landing page for it? And then in that landing page, set up a few follow-up emails that are going to lead people to booking an appointment with you, and showing the options for ways that you could integrate different AI tools to helping with facilitating that process. That's a lot of what we cover inside of the AI Profits Accelerator, with those members in there are actively doing these types of things within Go High Level. And so if that is something that is a present need for the community at large, that is saying, is there a step-by-step way to take this to get this type of result? As part of this mastermind, we prioritize all of our members' questions first and foremost. And this would be something that I could see a lot of value in for the whole community, getting some more training constructed around. So that's where I can see the value in building out the full automation of it. Where the brief is going to stop is going to be before it actually goes and sets up a lot of those different tools, but you'll have the roadmap and kind of the implementation guidance to doing that on yourself. You could hire a lot of the stuff out too for contractors and find people on Fiverr and different platforms like that. And so it's a matter of like, what resources are you working with? How much are you looking to just pay someone to set something up for you? Or do I want to learn how to do it myself so that I can do it and white label with my own clients? That would be determined inside of that initial kind of consultation and roadmap. And so it'll be, custom to everyone and your goals and your resources and what you're able to tap into. But it's going to give you the path forward. And then it's a matter of just executing at that point. I hope that helps give some clarity to your question.
It does, but there are actually software or really AI tools, or I guess they're called chatbots, that actually go through that process. So Sales Ape, I think it's Sales Ape AI, does that. And essentially they would spend 14 days and show me how to, or go through my messaging process and then create an agent to using email to send messages and respond to those messages and get them set up landing pages for them to book on the calendar. And so that all I'm doing is when they show up on the calendar, actually talk to them. The only thing is that they see that as a proprietary process. And at this point, they're not really looking for doing anything as a white label type of product.
Yeah. And I would just say transparently, we're not trying to build a lead generation like service right now on top of like where Market Sauce is in terms of setting that stuff up. Though I know we can, and I can tell you it's not going to be me that's doing the setup, but there are a number of people in our community that would have a solution for you just based on what you said. I know there's ways to get it done. That's where I lean on other members of our community that would have a lot more clear and direct ways that they're doing that, what you're looking for exactly right now. And so that would be an easy enough introduction to talk with someone and look at what does that look like and how to get something like that set up. And then maybe that'll turn into us making our own training that we can probably not build our own platform based off of, but maybe at least this is how you could go and approach it with something like Go High Level or with one of these other tools that you can create an agent based off of this and setting it up. So I'm happy to chat more about that as well. I think that's a valuable resource to be had for sure.
Okay, great. Thanks, Darby.
Bet.
So one thing I would like to ask Darby is if we could get some activity in the chat or even come unmute. But I would really like to hear so far two things. One, is there something else that you need from us that we could address right now? And the second thing is, what's your biggest takeaway so far? This is the audience participation part. Two questions. What's your biggest takeaway? And is there some question or challenge that we haven't addressed?
There was something I did not address that I'll just put out there as the addition to what we were talking about with the membership is that we're also including a complimentary seat to a team or partner who you work with as part of your membership. I'm open to extending that to anyone that has an active Creator Plus membership too. So if you do have someone on your team that you'd like to get access to more of our resources directly as an extra seat, we're opening that up as well because we know as much as anything that business is a team sport and things can get lonely out there. So if you do have a team or a partner, that seat is going to be complementary to this. We'd had something from Christian, the construction of a cooperation that gives assurance to each partner.
What does that mean?
Christian, can you elaborate on that if you're available? Key takeaway from Damar's relationship and collaboration building is my main takeaway. It's great. I think that's the number one takeaway I think we both wanted to leave you with is that is going to be a very powerful thing to focus on now and going into the future of co-creation. I think what Christian was saying was the construction of a cooperation gives assurance to each partner. And so being clear with what you're bringing and having the agreements there and knowing what everyone's maybe roles and responsibilities are going to be, just so it's clear. Again, we're all human. 2, 3, 5 months goes by. It's a year, 2 years. You don't want to forget where you stood when you started the agreement. So it's always good to have something on paper and something that you're both in agreement on going in.
Right. Who's going to do what? How does compensation work?
Yeah. Mutual
I know
and safeguards.
Yeah. And in my experience, I've had a lot of great ideas and I've picked up the phone and say, hey, do something you want to do together. And people have multiple times, people have looked at me and said, that sounds like a great idea. Go do it. That wasn't exactly what I had in mind. It's really what can we do together? Mm-hmm. And that goes back to my number one thing is really building trusting relationships and building shared responsibility. How many emails are you going to send out? How much outreach are you going to do? Who's in your database that might be of value? You have to make sure that there's equal value and equal responsibility to making it happen. And I think respect. There are times when Darby's just been really busy and I've said to him, don't worry about it, I'll get it done. And I do work with a marketing team that I can count on. And that's also really important because each one of us can't take responsibility for everything in our company. So that's part of what Darby's gift is. My experience in the Gen AI community is it really wasn't for the purpose of networking, but he has attracted really great people, including Bruce. I feel very seen, very heard, very respected. Didn't expect really that. It was more about, for me, the learning. What can I learn? What can I learn? I didn't expect such an incredible human part, which also will bring me to the last thing I'll say, is that we are human. And it is also a technology generation. So the way in which Darby and I are connecting the human aspect, the human intelligence with generative AI, it is really, that's what I'm encouraging you to find your whole, find someone that you trust and value, and build a collaboration, co-creation with them.
Yeah, I think that ties into Bonnie left to take away the value of taking a shot at reaching out to someone you don't know if they're interested or if they're doing interesting work that would help fill your talent and skill gaps, right? Just taking a shot and reaching out can make a chance, something happen by chance, but putting it out there and into the universe, so to speak, you never know what opportunities are going to come and form from the outreach that you're doing. But
And Bonnie's a great example
yeah.
because she's brilliant at creating relationships with people that could work with her. Courage, determination. But guess what? You look at who she is and what she's built herself to be and what her brand looked like and what she brings to the table. That's the first piece, Darby. We have to use the brief, get clarity about who we are, what we offer, and then you can say, and who do I want to do this with?
That's a great takeaway. And as we are at the top of our workshop webinar here today, now, again, I hope that you guys leave with is just understanding the power of what co-creation can mean, and encourage you that you may have people that you're working with or have worked with in the past that could be a great co-creation partner and someone to collaborate with and look at ways that you can fill that gap, that you can bring your talent or your skill to someone else's audience or help them with filling that gap that adds a lot of value. And maybe Market Sauce is one way that you can help facilitate helping you fill that gap. Maybe there's another resource that you already have on hand that can do the job. And it's just a matter of positioning or opening up the conversation or asking for potential partnerships or collaborations. As you were mentioning, Shelly, it's really collaboration and co-creation. That's what this is all about. And on something that we just started talking about on a few recent, not just started talking about, but on a recent workshop I did with Kelly Tenney, was about the real-time problem solving about where AI is taking us, and that as we're on calls with people or as we're identifying different problems in our business, even just the approach to working with a partner and AI in the mix to solve these problems in real time can accelerate the time that we are able to put our ideas into action, and with that action making a greater impact. And at the end of the day, using that impact to have a positive effect on the world and to make our business and our lives that much better through the power of co-creation. Thank you all for joining us here today with us live. And for those watching the replay, love to hear your thoughts and your ideas and your takeaways.
And reach out to us.
Comments.
I put my LinkedIn there. Feel free, reach out, ask questions, whatever you need to do to find out more. But I am very supportive of Darby, Gen AI University, and really feel like it's a great place for you, for us, for all of us to learn and grow. And if you're a consultant or a coach, really think about how we can help you integrate this into your offer. I don't want to be the only one. There's so much room for all of you. And the more we join together, the more we learn each other's strengths and have something to put out there.
Absolutely. And if you guys have any questions and want to connect with me, if you're inside of the community or not, and just want to talk, want to have some questions, LinkedIn's a great way to connect with me, as well as my email. You can send me a direct email at darby@genaiuniversity.com. That's darby@genaiuniversity.com. darby@genaiuniversity.com. Shoot me an email. Let's connect. And let's see how there might be some ways that we can collaborate and work together in the age of AI. Thank you all for being here. Subscribe to us on
Thank
YouTube
you, everybody.
to get notified for more videos, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Cheers, y'all. Thanks.
Thank you.